What if I told you the fastest way to build the body you want was to spend the first 4 months not bulking at all? Why, listen to me. I've been in the industry for 4 years, and before I was even a personal trainer, I'd lost 35 kilo and completely transformed the way that I look. Now that I've done that, I go around helping other people do the same thing, while avoiding all the mistakes that I made. When someone is talking about a transformation, and they're typically on the larger side, the term that we kind of use is body recomposition. Usually we're just reducing body fat and building muscle. Why would we spend the first 4 months not even bulking? What we're looking for in a transformation is recomposition. We want to lose body fat and we want to build muscle. Building muscle is going to take a long time. Let's get the fat loss out of the way while we're highly motivated. The biggest issues that I see usually falls into these 3 categories: training, their nutrition, or their lifestyle. Those 3 things are going to massively impact the type of result that you get and whether you look the way you want to at the end of it. Some of the biggest issues that I see when people are training is not training close enough to failure to build muscle in that initial fat loss phase. People think that they can just kind of breeze through it. I would say that we're missing out on some really good gains in those first 4 months. Imagine if at the end of that fat loss phase you actually saw some noticeable difference in that muscle, or you felt stronger. How much better would you feel? And that's the difference between people losing weight and losing body fat. If you're training hard, you're going to be losing body fat rather than just weight. When we lose weight, we lose a multitude of things. We don't just lose body fat. If you're not training hard, your body's not going to want to keep that muscle because it's like, I don't need it. Whereas if you're training hard and you're showing your body, actually, I need this muscle, in fact, I'm trying to grow it, chances are, as long as we're eating enough protein, then we're going to build muscle as we lose body fat. Some of the biggest issues that I see when we're looking at nutrition, trying to do something that we just can't stick to, or something that isn't sustainable, and then we get to the end of the week and we're like, starving, you're craving everything because you've not allowed yourself any chocolate. You know exactly what I mean. You feel guilty after you're eating it and you just feel like shit. You're like, oh, all my progress is gone now. I'm gonna have to really starve myself this week and stick to it the best that I can. But then your co-workers brought some donuts because it was a birthday, or a best mate's brother's sister's birthday, and you can't miss out on that, can you? So you have one, but then because you've had a donut, like, oh, that's your whole day ruined, isn't it? So then you have to just take it, you know, you're off plan then for the rest of the day, and then, oh, you may as well start again Monday because that happened on Thursday. And you see what I mean? It's just that inability to stick to something long term, or that inability to do something that allows you to be consistent. Maybe be less strict. Varies from person to person. I can be quite strict because it's 15 years I've done this, fucking hell. 15 years I've done this, so when I'm on plan, I can stick to the plan quite well, even when life gets a bit hectic. And then with our lifestyle, that just really comes down to the habits that we want to build. The way that we look currently is a complete result of the environment that we're in, the habits that we have built, and what we allow ourselves to get away with, really. So when we go through a body recomposition or a body transformation, we not only change the way that we look physically, but we change the way that we show up daily, whether it's our mental state, whether it's how we manage stress, whether it's how we approach relationships, how we approach relationships with ourselves, body confidence, how you show up at work. All these different things get impacted, and it's because of the lifestyle changes that you make to look the way that you want to. I'm a big believer in going deeper than that, where we go, okay, how does this person want to show up? This is the result that this person wants. This is what their life currently looks like. Does that match up? Can this person achieve X if this is the way that they operate daily? Chances are, probably not. Then we need to look at the lifestyle and go, right, in order to get X, this, and this needs to change. And we'll do that slowly, over time. Not enough people are doing that. And if you do, it's going to completely change your life. It did for me, and it did for a lot of my clients. The way that you show up daily is going to impact the result. And if you're not doing the things that you know you need to be doing, or if you're not doing them at a level that you need to be for X result, then I think expectations need to change. For example, in our fat loss phases, typically I'll get somebody to lose 1% per week. I'll get somebody to lose 1% of their body weight per week, and we do that through increasing the amount of activity that they're doing. So that's through steps, through cardio, also that sort of reduction in nutrition as well, through calories, volumizing food and making sure that people are quite full. And we can change how many meals somebody has based on how full or how hungry they are. We can add refeed days at the weekend so that, you know, the consistency's there and that we're showing up at the weekend. We don't feel like we're falling off. We're actually eating at maintenance. So we're in a deficit through the week, we're at maintenance at the weekend. We've got so many tools at our disposal to keep you on track. And fat loss and muscle gain. So people use these terms as they are one and the same thing, and they're just not. They are two completely different systems, and you can do both at the same time. You can build muscle while you're losing body fat, and you can gain fat while you're losing muscle. Obviously. But if I was to give you a scenario, we've got Adam, who's like mid-20s. He goes to the gym about 4 or 5 times a week. He trains close to failure. He's eating really well, like high nutrition, like high fiber, high protein. And he's sticking to the plan 90% of the time. And he'll have like, you know, he has planned date nights and he's on track basically. He's losing weight. And then we've got, let's say Steve, mid-50s. He wants to lose weight as well. But he's only going to the gym 1 or 2 times a week. He doesn't have the planned date nights. In fact, he just falls off at the weekend. They're eating the same amount of calories, by the way. And he doesn't really take steps seriously. He doesn't really do much cardio. Even if they were losing weight at the same rate, who do you think is going to look better at the end of that fat loss phase? And it's a really, really interesting question, because I guarantee you said Adam. And you're right. Because he's doing all the right things, right? He's training hard. He's training consistently. He's doing all the things consistently. He's showing up. If someone's not showing up, then they're losing weight. They're not really using their muscle, so they're going to lose muscle. It's as simple as that. And I've seen it time and time and time again. Losing weight doesn't always equal losing body fat. You can lose water. You can lose glycogen. You can lose muscle. You know, that is it. Fat loss occurs when we're in a calorie deficit and we're having to use stored fat for energy. We build muscle over a long period of time through progressive overload. And we build muscle by progressively overloading a muscle, training it close to failure, 1 to 2 repetitions close to failure. And I mean failure, I don't mean, oh, that was hard. I mean, I want people to think you've finished. I want you to get kicked out of the gym is what I want. We're eating enough protein. We use that protein to essentially build new muscle. That is a few things that I've noticed people get wrong when they start a recomp. When you first start a recomp, get into a fat loss phase first. Still going to be able to build muscle. It's going to get you into some really good habits when it comes to your nutrition, your lifestyle habits, and just everything in general. It's going to help you stay motivated, stay disciplined, and show up so that when you go into that muscle building phase, you're already doing all the right things. We're just doing them better. If you like this video, feel free to follow me. Check out my Instagram. Instagram's a bit more personal, so you should like it. See you in the next one.